All right, all right, all right, all right. It's show time. How's everybody doing today? I am joined here again by my good friend Truckin' Chubby. How are you doing today, man?
I'm all right, man. What's going on?
Man, it's a week that's flying by, but Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Hey, I love the jersey, by the way. Is that a John Lynch jersey?
Definitely a John Lynch jersey. I had to pull it out.
Man, especially because of our last one, our last stream that we did together, man, had a little John Lynch conversation.
Yeah.
Uh, and man, people are giving you a hard time about that. I don't get it, man. I don't
I,
get it, but
I love it, man. I love it. I'm learning to love that, man. Hey, it's all with good and fun. They was just getting on me a little bit. That's what it's all fun. I'm learning that.
yeah, well, yeah, you'll learn to appreciate, the people, whether they're hating or loving. It's just nice to have people interact, and
Mhm.
that's how I look at it. And man, we got a lot to talk about since we last connected, Chubby, for sure.
For sure.
Charles Kelly is out of here, going to Auburn. There's
Mhm.
been, um, some talk about a guy coming in here that's already been hired. That is bringing a lot of NFL experience. So there's been a lot of speculation over who that might be. But before we start talking about some of the candidates or maybe some of the other news with the Buffs, what
Okay.
was uh what was your initial thoughts or reaction to Charles Kelly going down to Auburn, coaching with Hugh Freeze?
My thing with Charles Kelly going to Auburn was just to wish him well. You know what I mean? I didn't like the way that a lot of people were dragging Charles Kelly.
Yeah,
But that's not for me to debate on or for me to speculate on. But anyhow, like I think that it was going to hurt the Buffs only because now they have to learn a whole new defense. That's my thing. It's plain and simple. Now there's a new coordinator coming in, and now they have to learn a whole nother defense. You know what I mean? So that's it.
yeah. That's kind of how I felt about it too. Was just I know that we were the 127th ranked defense or something crazy like that, but I just
Mhm.
wanted to see a little bit of continuity. But yeah, that at the end of the day, I think our defense is going to be better, mainly because I feel like we are bringing in some better players than we've had, and I would still like to see us bring in some more guys specifically in that interior defensive line area. I still feel like we got to get bigger there, but yeah, like that, I think we will see improvement, and hopefully, with one of these NFL names that's coming in here, that's already here, just hasn't been announced. Yeah, hopefully they're able to elevate this defense at least to, like, this is what I'm hoping for. If we can just get to an average ranked defense nationally,
Right.
I think that's going to be just fine.
Right. Be cool. You know what I mean? Making with just a raw talent that's just fine. It's not really a super elite defense that's in the Big 12. And I think honestly the Buff has the best defense in the Big 12 on paper. So therefore, I think that y'all will do just fine in the Big 12. I think that they'll be great. The Buffs will be great in the Big 12. I have no worries with that. With a Coach Prime and the star power that he brings, even if y'all take 2 losses, I still think that they can get into a bowl game and make the college football playoff. And the 12 guy to the 12, I think they'll be one of the 12.
And I would absolutely, I'd be thrilled. The neck bone saying, "Hey, you went to the same high school as Lovie Smith." That would be really cool. Let's get into it. I mean, I guess
Okay, let's do it.
Lovie Smith had a little bit of a very short stint in Tampa Bay, but coached the Bears for the most
Mhm.
part during my childhood and adolescence, growing up in suburban Chicago. And yeah, he was a pretty good coach for the Bears, considering the rest of the coaches that the Bears fired afterwards.
Right.
Um, and Tampa 2 guy, all of that. Went to coach, let's see, University of Illinois recently. I think was most recently head coach of the Texans for only 1 year, which Houston. But I guess they got the hire right now. But yeah, what would be your thoughts about him coming in here? Where would you rank him with
Lovie
some of these
Smith,
guys that we've seen thrown around?
I mean, just because he has NFL ties, ties to the NFL and he coached in the NFL, I guess, that'd be okay. But I'm really not a big fan of Lovie Smith coming in for the Buffs, though. I mean, you got so many other names out there right now. The list of Coach Prime and who he knows is huge. It's the whole NFL, period. You know what I mean? You don't know who's going to bring in. This is one of those wait and see type moments. But Lovie Smith going to the Buffs is, I would have to rank him like, I don't know, like out of five out of the, 5 out of the top five. There's other, you know, I'm thinking more like, other people like Devin Bush Sr., someone like that, you know, I, or, that's who I got on my list. But Lovie Smith coming in, I don't think that's a good fit for the Buffs and where they're going. I don't think so.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a hire that I'd be disappointed in, I guess, per se,
Mhm.
but there'd be guys that I prefer over him. And I think, like, I don't know if this is casual, but I just don't feel like Lovie Smith kind of has that type of person. Like, he's just a little sleepy, I feel like, for kind of what's going on here and the type of personalities and the flash that we have, all that.
Mhm.
I like, not that Mike Zimmer is a flashy guy. He's not, but I feel like he'll get in your face. He'll let you know. Kind of a fiery guy, somebody like Ken Norton Jr., a little bit younger than a lot of these other guys that have been thrown around. So, not that he's youthful, but I still feel like he provides more youthful energy. Maybe
Right.
might have an easier time connecting with younger players that are college age. So,
Mhm.
um, but yet Bears fans, I feel like, are kind of divided a bit with Lovie Smith, with his defense. I feel like, just like you'll see in different eras, sometimes coaches fail to adjust to modern advancements within offensive schemes. And I think as the Bears kind of went on,
Mhm.
uh, his defense was less effective. You could say that was a talent issue totally. Um, his Illinois teams weren't very good, and the Houston Texans team, granted, they had terrible talent,
Mhm.
didn't perform well either. So uh, I don't know. I'd be a little uneasy about him coming in here. I would feel a little bit better, honestly, about somebody like Mike Zimmer, just
Right.
because we know we got better defensive performances from him up there in Minnesota.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree, man. Look, I couldn't agree even more. And I'll say that on top of that, with all the talent that is on the Colorado Buffs defense, any defensive scheme could work up there. You know what I mean? So Lovey's if it was Lovey Smith, it would work. Had it been like, Devin Bush Sr., I really think that he's a good guy for this job. I really honestly do, man. Have you heard a little bit about Devin Bush
Sell
resume at
me
all?
on Devin Bush Sr.
Oh my goodness. So look, Devin Bush Sr., man, in his coaching career, he started in 2013 as a high school coach. In 2016, as you know, he joined up with Jim Harbaugh over there at Michigan with his son Devin Bush that wound up going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
And he also does some work with Ole Miss in 2020 with being an analyst of recruiting. He was the head of recruiting down there. So he has the recruiting ties. He does nothing but win, and he was with one of the best in Jim Harbaugh up there. So, I mean, I think that that's the perfect fit. That's not the popular name that's out there right now.
I wonder if he was there at Ole Miss around the same time Phil Oldholt was there as well. They
Mm.
might have been a year or two apart, but that very well could be another
What
connection to
year?
Ole Miss.
What
Uh,
year was Phil Loholt down there?
Man, I think he was there in 2021 and maybe 2020 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me look at that real quick. While I'm looking this up, um, man, who said
Yeah.
it? Let me see here. Yeah, Nicholas Braxton brought up that another name brought up has been Jim Leonard,
Jim
former
Leonard.
NFL safety. I think,
Mm.
I'm trying to remember, was he coaching at Wisconsin, I think, as defensive coordinator? A lot of people were hoping he would go to USC this past year. That never happened.
Now you're
Uh,
talking about Jim Leonard.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I believe so. You're right. I believe you on that. We could fact check that, but yes, I believe you're right with that. And I think Leonard would be a good, a decent pick. That's popular, that people that you can actually see that's there, the most popular name with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but when you really looking at the names, I mean, there's so many out there. It's just one of those things where you just gotta trust the process of Coach Prime and who he's going to bring in on the defense. Because remember, he's already a defensive minded of coach. You know what I mean? He's already a defense coach. He played defense in the NFL. So he may even bring in somebody that he can bring in under his tutelage, teach him how to run the defense. And he may even call the defense. So we don't know exactly how that's going to work or what's going on, because I haven't heard anything in the rumor mill as far as is the guy up there or not right now. So, that's just one of those things where you just gotta really just wait and see what's going on. But since we throwing names out there, let's go. You can say things like Brandon Staley. Let's say Brandon Staley. He just lost his job. Who else just lost their job? Jack Del Rio. Since we just throwing names, I mean,
Hey,
names in the hat.
honestly, man, I would be cool with Jack Del Rio, man.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he did a good job during his time here in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he hasn't had the most success as a head coach, and that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
We're not bringing him in here to be a head coch.
But he
We're
is
bringing
old.
him in here to be a defensive coordinator, and that's an interesting name. And Brandon Staley, I really do feel like maybe he just wasn't quite ready, for an
Mm-hmm.
NFL head coaching job. But yeah, came up. I think he started his NFL coaching career out coaching linebackers for the Broncos. He's at least somewhat familiar with this area. And again, we're not going to be asking him to make decisions on what we're doing on offense with game management or anything like that. And honestly, that's what I feel like was one of the issues of why he got fired. So
Mm-hmm.
I still think that he's a bright defensive mind, and bringing somebody in here like Brandon Staley, especially somebody that's younger as well, I think that would provide a really cool opportunity, man. I really
Mm-hmm.
do think so.
Okay.
I like it, but yeah, Phil Oldholt was at Old Miss, same time Devin Bush Sr. was. That's
Uh, yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I did a little bit of digging. I mean, it was just the allure of Devin Bush and him not really getting the notoriety that he had, that he should have, because he did nothing but win. Everywhere he's been, he's did nothing but win. You look at that defense back in 2016 with Michigan Wolverines, they was on point. And you got to thinking like he said you rather have Joey Porter than who? I'm sorry, he cut me
Oh,
off.
he was saying, I think maybe rather Joey Porter than maybe Devin Bush Sr. That's the way that
Oh
I'm
no,
thinking about
man.
it.
Devin Bush Sr. is proven, man. And we just found out all together, y'all, that he has ties to Phil Loho. Like they have that connection already. So I mean, it's already there, and he's proven. I mean, Joey Porter, I don't think Porter going out of the NFL. His son's up there in Pittsburgh in the NFL, and he ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? I'm a Steeler fan. Joey Porter ain't going nowhere. They live in that area. They're settled up here in that area. He's not going to go all the way over to Colorado to coach. That's not going to happen. That's not
He's still on
likely.
staff with the Steelers?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think he's like on staff, but he's on. You know what I mean? He's a Steeler. He's an
Yeah.
alumni over there and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Played with us and all that, but he's stuck. He's over there, man. His son's playing over there right now. And they're from the area. They lived in the area. His son played high school football in the area. Joey Porter Jr., JP. That's what they call him. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
this is interesting. I'm doing a quick little Wikipedia search,
Uh huh.
and get this: he is right now he's on staff under Wade Phillips,
Okay.
with the new UFL staff with the San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
Um, the UFL as linebackers coach. Might this be a more interesting opportunity? I know he doesn't have that gold jacket yet.
You need
But
a
Joey
play.
Porter's a Hall of Famer, right? Like he's gonna
Yeah,
have that gold
but
jacket,
but
right?
but but you got to have a play caller. Like, I get it, gold jackets and big names. You got to get somebody who's proven to be able to call a defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference between somebody who just knows how to play defense and is a hell of a defensive player than somebody actually getting out there and playing chess with a great offensive mind calling the defense. It's a huge difference. You need somebody like that now. And Colorado wants to win right now. So they have to bring in somebody who knows how to call a defense. And you can't get nobody. I mean, Joey Porter, I'm not saying that he can't call a defense, but he's been a linebacker coach. That's what he's good at. He knows that's his bread and butter. You know, he wants to help out the younger guys and everything, and that's what he does. But he calling a defense, Joey Porter, I mean, that's like the same as saying Ray Lewis. Like, come on, y'all. Like, can we get a better name than that?
That's fair. That's very fair. And I feel like, hey, I think it's very clear that the plan is right now is we're getting some NFL guys in there at the coordinator positions because at least we know that there's going to be a level of competency that's going to be reached. And so I think you bring up a great point that whoever Coach Prime has hired, and guys, like I think that was what Brian Howell or Adam Munster Tiger said, or maybe it was Carl Reed from 24/7 saying that like they have been selected. It just hasn't been released yet. So all we're going to do is speculate about who this might be. They're saying it's a guy with NFL experience, but yeah, like I think right now we can't afford, Coach Prime can't afford right now to have a losing record this year. Everybody gets a pass this first year. Again, I gave him an A for 4-8, but this year is where we got the real expectations in 2024, and we can't risk somebody learning on the job calling a defense for the first time. That's kind of how I think about it. But in terms of if you're making this hire, Chubby, in terms of outside of just play calling, is there any other specific qualities that would be on your criteria for this kind of hire? What other things are you thinking about or looking for?
I'm thinking if I'm making this hire, I actually want to go. If I want to go and win, that's his mindset right now. Win now. You have to get somebody in there that knows what they're doing, knows how to call up the defense, and it has to be an experienced guy. No inexperience, just how you said, Dave. Like, I mean, there's no time to play around. He can't afford to have another losing season. No 6-6. That's unacceptable right now. I mean, you know, it has to be a 7-win season or more. You know, and that's going to be tough to do that, but it has to be. You know, so I don't got time to play around. I got to bring somebody in here who's proven themselves, you know, as a defensive play caller that I could bounce ideas off of that can make me great and I can make him great, iron sharpen iron type of deal. And you know, and elevate the team. Like, that's it. And that's all.
No doubt, man. In terms of like recruiting and all of that, I know it's been a little bit since we've talked about recruiting, that we've had more commits, transfers come in here since we last talked. But right now with the strategy clearly being like 75% of new guys coming in here are transfers, do you think it's important right now for a defensive coordinator coming in here to be hitting the recruiting trail hard? Is that something that you want, that you think is – yeah, or do you feel like it's going to be one of those things where you know we're just going to get wins here? We're going to promote this NFL type environment and kind of the if you build it, they will come type of philosophy when it comes to recruiting and the staff and all that.
I think the way that Coach Prime is doing it right now is perfect. They know better than what I know, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And the way that they're doing it right now, they have a lot of experience on that staff with analysts and guys who been recruiting around college football and everything. So the way that they're doing it right now is perfect. It's the new way to go about doing it. If you notice, the only reason why the Buffs are going in the portal and getting so many players like this is because he went in there and literally built a team that went 4-8 from the portal. That team was built from the portal. So now he's going in there and, and revamping that. So he's going back deep into the portal. Now, as the years go on and as the young guys that's coming in, they mature, you'll see less and less of these guys coming to Colorado from the portal. You know what I mean? And now, and he'll have his guys and he'll just need plug and play guys like, okay, now we just need a right guard, or now we just need a outside linebacker, maybe one edge rusher, maybe a safety. And that's what everybody's doing around in college football. If you look at all the teams, they're building their, they're going in the portal, they're grabbing 5 to 6 guys. Look around. It's happening everywhere. It's happened. And they grab 5 to 6 guys on top of the guys that they already had there for the 3 and 4 years. That's juniors and seniors. And they build teams that are in the college football playoffs right now that are doing just great. I mean, Washington is a team not with heavy in the portal. I mean, well, not heavy in the portal, but the guys they grabbed out of the portal are their impact players, stars, quote unquote, the
Michael
receiver,
Penix.
right? Michael Penix, the receiver, the cornerback, Muhammad, right? He's good. The receiver. And like you said, Penix, I believe even Dylan, right? The running back, correct? He even came out of the portal too, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe their running back came out of the portal. So I mean, everybody's doing that. It's just a new way, and the way that Coach Prime is going about it, I trust that process. That what he got going on there, they know exactly what they're doing on that staff. It's the new way, and that's it, man. I mean, look, y'all, we watching it unfold, and it's crazy because he's just taking it to the next level because of who he is, which is dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this whole thing develops with going heavy on the transfer portal. But I think that again, I probably sound like a broken record with all this, but in terms of to me, it doesn't seem like it's a big part of the job right now in terms of always hitting the recruiting road and all of that right now for some of the staff members. You're not doing in-home visits with the majority of the guys that you're bringing in anyways. So why don't we just make sure that this is a pro type atmosphere, that we're building an NFL type program. We're winning. That's the most important thing. Regardless of what your strategy is recruiting wise, you absolutely need to win games. That's what's going to attract people here the most, players here the most, is winning. But I feel like all the guys that we have brought in at the freshman level, they're all impact players. And I think that they're guys that I'm hoping that they're not rushed out there. But if they're needed to rotate in there, except maybe Jordan Seaton, I would pencil him in as a starter on the offensive line right now. But we'll just have to see. But I know since we last talked, Chubby, Jordan Seaton, he committed, which was great, or signed rather. Love that. DJ Lundy is a big time linebacker that's coming in to play. Was there anybody else that, or if you want to talk about those guys, any of the transfers or signees that you're really looking forward to seeing play here, or just really excited that they signed?
And I mean, I talked about it before with Samuel Okanola. I talked about him before. Yeah, and I like Keaton Wade too. I like the edges you brought in, and Chidozie, because I'm built like Chidozie, but just shorter. So I like that. I really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But I really like that defensive line, man. Honestly, look, I thought that I think they're set at defensive line. You think you need more beef? Cool. But you got to remember there's other guys too that was there last year that fits in with that. Just the same thing with the offensive line. But I think they just done a fantastic job inside of the portal as far as building that defense. So there's not one player that I can look at honestly and say, yeah, this is the guy I'm excited to see, because I'm excited to see what everybody they brought in that's going to do, because I honestly feel like very strongly he brought in disciplined players that will do their job to the T, no matter what, and no matter if they're making a big play or not. Because
Yeah.
for anybody to make a big play on the field, whether it's offense or defense, every man on the field has to do their job, and they all make that big play. Yes, it looks like one player made a big play, but no, 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 no. This is a team game. Everybody did their job to the T in order to make that play look the way it did. Let's not forget that. And that's why I like everybody he brought in from the portal, because you will see the discipline in these guys.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. And a big difference from our portal class last year versus this year is that we're bringing in a handful of guys that are already Power Five starters. A lot of the guys that we were bringing in last year from the Power Five level were mainly rotational or like bench warmers, backups, at the Power Five level. Now we still have guys, that were highly recruited that went to some of these blue blood programs, but haven't gotten on the field yet. But guys like DJ Lundy, Okunloa, Wankwo, who else we got? Keaton Wade, you pointed out, Will Shepard. These are all guys that were expected to be starters at their program last year or started or this past year, or were expected to become a starter this next year. Absolutely. At these SEC programs. So absolutely. I think it's huge, man.
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited to see what the Buffs are gonna do. I can't wait. Like, I'm so antsy for it, and it's just like, man, like why the season had to end so early? You know what I mean? Like, because I want to see what a lot of these guys are doing. What's the chat hollering now? What's up? What's going on, Tanya White? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button out there. Show some love. We appreciate it. The man above, he said they wouldn't give Prime the time he needed to recruit high schoolers. You talking 3 or 4 years just to get 6 wins. Absolutely. Yep. Look, man. And see, he went in a portal heavy, and by him going in a portal heavy the way he did and rebuilding the whole team, that's what I'm saying. Like, realistically, when you're looking at this, it takes years to build and build. It takes years to build. You know what I mean? You want to at least give him the 4 years of bringing in the freshmen he brought in last year. And then if those guys don't work and there's not a huge turnaround within those 4 years, then you can say he's not successful. It didn't work out. But realistically, that's how long it takes. You know what I'm saying? Let him bring his guys in, let him bulk them guys up, train those guys, and get everything right with those guys and see how they work out. But the atmosphere that he's building around in Colorado right now is fantastic. I mean, look, your development's there, the star power's there. Y'all do a fantastic job of getting the money up there. You know what I mean? To make sure that the NIL is getting the funds are going up there. So everything that you can possibly want as a college athlete is right there in Boulder right now, and that's good. You know what I mean, for them. So that's when you was talking about recruiting. That's another thing too that they can, that'll bring them over there too. All of that. He said he's so glad that we got Philip Houston. Oh yeah, dope pick, bro.
Dope pick. More linemen, man. We need guys to come in there, compete. But yeah, like he's
a little light, right?
Oh, go ahead, Chubby. My bad.
No, I say he's a little light though, right, Dave? You think so? He's a little light in the butt, though.
Yeah. I think he's like 275, but this is kind of how I look at it. We've had some of our JUCO guys, such as Jeremiah McCrinnan, transfer out. If you're taking a JUCO guy, swapping him out with a guy that started at the G5 level, I view that as an improvement to our overall room. That's kind of how I see it. He's been committed for a while. Zion's right, but I think he just signed his paperwork or whatever recently. Okay. But yeah, like I have no issue with that. I still feel like our roster is at the point where it's like we need to continue to flip over that bottom part of the roster, continue to look to improve it. There isn't really a position group that I would like us to stop recruiting, just because it's like we still need that depth with these other schools, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State. Who
Right.
else is in the championship? Michigan. All these guys, Ohio State, they got layers. And next man up. We're not there yet, but we're getting there a lot quicker because of the transfer portal than we would have if, say, we brought in 40 freshmen last year and another 40 freshmen this year. I just can't imagine winning a lot of games with a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds on the field.
Right. It's a grown man. It's grown men out there right now. Grown men. You know what I mean? They got babies, wives, AAPR. No, I'm yeah, but they're older now, man. They're getting a lot of these 6-year seniors or however the COVID year work now, and bringing in those young guys. They got to be grown men coming in. They got to have the body. You'll see a lot of running backs and skill position players, coming in and from high school going straight into their positions, but I don't see like anybody from the trenches going straight up there. Jordan Seaton, you got to put him there, but nobody from there. Like, you're not doing that. You too light. So let's what you think about the college football playoffs? What's going on?
Let's get to this. But first, I want you to I gotta update my description. I'm sorry, Chubby, but your screen name on YouTube, it's just Truck and Chubbies, right? So anybody that wants to follow, or you change it.
Yeah, it's Sports with Truck and Chubby now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sports with Truck and Chubby, man. I gotta go find it, man. So put it up here.
Salute to you too, the man above. Salute to you too, man. Hey, look, man, I'm excited to see what's going on, man. But look, I love it, man. I love what's going on up there, man. I really do.
Here, I got the link, and I'll throw it here in the chat.
Okay, cool.
There we go, man. Yeah, y'all go subscribe to Chubby, man. But let's talk about the college football playoff, man. I was 0 for 2 on my picks. I had Texas and Alabama winning, and but I wasn't that far off. I mean, both of the games came down to the last play, essentially. Yeah. So, but this is a unique college football playoff because with all 4 teams that got in, I was like kind of cool with whoever wins. Like even Alabama, just because Milroe gets so much crap. It would be fun to see him win. Let the naysayers know. Like he says, and it didn't happen. But I'd be thrilled for Michigan if they're able to win it. Right now, I have Washington winning, and I would like to see them win. I really like Michael Penix. I would love to see the national title winner being from the Pac-12 before the conference is blown up. And I mean, we can say, right, the committee got this thing right with how competitive these games were. I think the college football playoff, Florida State, man, they shouldn't be complaining at all. I think that the right 4 teams got in. Maybe you could argue Georgia in there for one of those other teams just because they won the last 2, but I was happy.
Right. I feel like look, Florida. I feel like Florida State, all those players should not have opted out. Use that anger they had for not getting in there, and they still had arguably the best team to play against in Georgia, and they should have played Georgia as tough as they could, went out there and played that game to show the world that if Florida State would have been within 3 in Georgia and not lost, that would have showed everybody maybe we got it wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you don't know. They blew them out the water because a lot of people opted out and it just didn't look right. But when it comes down to me, Michigan's just different, man. The Big Ten is just different. The Big Ten strives on nothing but hard-nosed football. They run the ball well over there, and they play fantastic defense in the Big Ten. That's what the Big Ten is. When you even look at, I mean, you get to looking at Northwestern. They was 1-11 last year under David Braun, right? And now they go underneath the new head coach, David Braun. He goes 7-5. They beat Utah. They beat a Utah team, and we know how Utah is, right? You know what I mean? So if that, and they're like, really, Northwestern is like one of the worst in the Big Ten. But I just, Michigan, I think they got it over Washington only because Washington let up. They always got gashed in the game with running. Texas would have probably pulled that off if they would have stuck to the run a little bit more because it was working. I mean, if it's working, why go away from it? And Blake Corum is just different. The trenches and the offensive line in Michigan is just different. I'm telling y'all. Um, check
They
them
had
out.
that Bama line rattled, man. You don't see that happen very often.
And that's just because of who they are, man. I mean, that's just what they do. I mean, really, you can watch other film. You go all the way back to week 1 to now, and I don't think that Michael Penix is gonna have a lot of time in the pocket. So I think that they're gonna adjust that with the offense, and they're gonna do a lot more short intermediate routes. You know what I mean? To try to get the ball out of his hands quicker because he's not gonna have that time with Michigan, as y'all seen when they play Alabama, and he got to the quarterback. They got to the quarterback a lot, and Washington's offensive line is good. Let's not get that wrong, but they're a little weak up the middle when you watch that, and the outside is where Washington does well rushing the ball. However, that's where Michigan is the strongest. There's no weakness on that line, on that defensive line. So it's going to be a really tough game, but I got to go with Michigan, man, just by watching the way they ball and everything. They do well with stopping the run. Michael Penix is going to play a great game, but at the end, I don't think that's just going to be enough to beat a Michigan team this year.
Hey, man, I can totally see that. I think, with this matchup with Texas, Washington had, I thought that Texas would win because I thought that defensive line would really create issues.
Yeah.
And Washington held up, that offensive line held up. But let's say I think Michigan proved itself that they have this past week that they have the best defense in the whole country. I mean, that was a dominant performance. And I mean, now they're going up against a much better quarterback. But yeah, Michael Penix, there's no doubt he's going to have to play better than how he played against Texas. And he played really good against Texas. But the defense is going to be tougher. And J.J. McCarthy, man, he eliminated all mistakes. That one interception he threw at the beginning was overturned because the DB was out of bounds, and really he played solid football. After he got that mulligan, so to speak. But it would be cool to see Michigan win, just so all the people mad about them for the sign stealing stuff. Just got to deal with it. Personally, I don't care. I think all college football teams, or the majority of college football teams, are cutting corners. They're doing stuff like this all the time. Michigan just got caught. It is what it is. But I would like to see Jim Harbaugh win a national title as well. He's a quirky guy. He's kind of an asshole, but there's a part of me that likes him.
Right. I mean, I mean, with the sign stealing, it's not baseball. If you're gonna steal somebody's sign, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's football.
Right.
Like, I mean, Coach Prime said it best earlier this year. You still got to stop it. You could know what they're doing, but you still have to make the adjustments. You still got to stop the play, or the play has to work well, or whatever. You know what I mean? You can know what somebody's doing, and you know what Michigan's going to do. They're going to run a ball with Blake Corum. Blake Corum is excellent running back. He's done that all year long. You know what I mean? You know what Michael Penix is going to do. You have to stop him. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I think that Jim Harbaugh probably gonna be gone, man. The coach, he's probably gonna be gone next year. I don't know if Michigan's gonna keep him around with all that, with a whole scandal going on. So I think that they want to give him one before they get up out of there. But look, no slight to Washington, because they ran through the gauntlet of the Pac-12. The Pac-12, people need to put some respect on the Pac-12, because there was some great ball in the Pac-12 this year. Great football. All those teams were stacked. And we seen that, we watched it all year long. But Michigan, man, is it's gonna be a problem, man. It's gonna be a problem. You will see, you'll say, wow, and that they didn't even play their best game versus Michigan. I mean, Alabama. Michigan did not play their best game against Alabama, and they still won. They tried to give that game to Alabama and still pulled it off. Like, I'm like, how? Like, that's crazy, because
So sloppy on special teams. Cost them 4 points on special teams. Yeah.
Wow, man. I mean, they don't normally play like that. I mean, there because I'm in the area. It's like a local game to me. You know what I mean? I'm in the area. I've seen him play a whole.
Oh no, did you freeze on me, Chubby?
I don't know. Did you?
Oh,
Is that
here you are. Yeah, you're back. You just froze for a minute.
me? Was it my end or your end?
I think it was your end because you're really blurry.
Oh
That's
man,
okay,
I'm
man. We're
blurry,
good now.
man. Why am I so blurry?
I don't know, man.
Got
Let's see here.
that.
Or maybe if you refresh your StreamYard, I'll put you behind stage for a minute. Let yourself get back in. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready to roll again. But let's talk about this Jim Harbaugh stuff. Should he go to the NFL? Well, I know I saw that that he did hire an agent that mainly represents NFL guys. Uh, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, though, it's like, why would I want to go to the NFL, man? I feel like he's got it made in college football. He's a really good college football coach. Maybe the NFL can pay more and all of that, but I don't know, man. I feel like him at Michigan is a good thing, but if you read, what everything's going on, it's like he's probably going to the NFL because he hired this specific agent. I just wish that, or I just wonder why, man. Why is he just sick of being punished for buying players cheeseburgers or something like that? I don't know, but I feel like he could be the coach at Michigan as long as he wants. Looking better.
Is it? Is it better?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's that 9.99 internet, man. Hey, look, my neighbors, right? My tag got cut off, but I still got the Wi-Fi extender range. My neighbor got it, so I went ahead and got his password and I put it in so I could. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing, man. I had to make a laugh out of it. I had to make a joke out of
Oh, that's so funny, man. But
it.
yeah, give me your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh, man. Where do you think he's going? All that.
I mean, I don't know what his next move is right now, but with everything going on, man, with Jim Harbaugh, it's just unfortunate because he done a fantastic job up there with Michigan, man. He's relatable for everybody. He brought so many people together up there, and it's unfortunate, man, that they jumped on him for that sign stuff, man. And it's just how Michigan is, the alumni up there, and the whole area. It's just that what we're hearing out from the streets. It's really just rumors that I'm hearing and seeing. I don't know, but they're saying like, oh, he got to go. That I'm like, oh man, but I don't know what his next move is, man. Whatever Jim Harbaugh does, man, it's going to be a great move, man. I really honestly do not know his next move. If I had to guess, he probably, man, he's going to just hang it up or he's going to go join his brother's staff, if anything. He's already done a great job. He's proved himself with the 49ers, went to the college level, successful there, especially if he gets the national championship, man. He got a lot of money, fall back, enjoy life, enjoy the wife and the kids, the grandchildren, and just live, man.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. I know that the Bears have announced that they're keeping Everflus, but if I'm the Bears, man, I feel like he would be a really good hire, man. I would go after him. I mean, clearly he can coach in that area, former Bear as well. All of that. I feel he's a really good football coach. A little quirky, a little weird, kind of strange, all that, but he should be in high demand. Yeah, he
That's
needs to
the
be coaching somewhere, man.
yeah.
But I appreciate the kind words, everybody.
Yeah, that's super dope, man. He said it's crazy because Dave was the first Buff channel I started watching. Hey, yo, that's the man above. Salute. He was the first Buff channel I started watching too. Dave was the first one, man. I mean, yeah, he was. He was the first Buff channel I started watching. That's why I stayed loyal with him. You know what I mean? I like his takes, and everything. I like the way Dave give it up, man. Because Dave's not like the he's if it's everything's not perfect, Dave is gonna spill that out. He may not jump on his team like that, but he's not like the typical delusional buff channel, like, oh, it is or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, he's not super biased. He loves his team, he loves his black and gold, he loves the buffs, but he's not above, giving the correction or criticism when need be. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about him, you know.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Chubby.
Yeah.
I definitely got
There you
my
go. There you
fanboy
go,
takes.
solid gold. There you go, solid gold. Took the words right out of my mouth. There you go. What do you say, the primate? Yeah.
Oh man, that is so funny. Yeah,
Um,
I think Solid Gold said that a few weeks ago on on the barbershop on Rod Hyde channel. Man, that thing just cracked me up. But man, I appreciate it. I'm definitely a fanboy. I still agree. I still want to make Coach Prime the highest paid coach in college football just because of everything that he's done for us.
Mhm.
I understand the reason why I want to do that is different than the criteria for just an everyday average Joe football coach I would hold to. But hey, it's not my money I'm spending. I don't know why people get so upset when the fans clamor for people to make more money.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
not coming out of my checkbook. Granted, outside of the little donations I've made to the NIL foundations, but
Mhm.
I just think it's so funny how a lot of adults, a lot of people get so upset when you're clamoring for certain people to get paid. Can't we all get paid?
Facts. 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 I don't understand it, man. I mean, look, I don't. It's plenty out here for everybody to get on here, man. And shoot, it's plenty out here. Plenty, plenty, plenty out here. And believe me, I've been around and I've reached out to a lot of people to give me a stepping stone, and you've been the only one. So you've been a straight up blessing to me and my channel and me getting out here and people noticing me. You have done that when there's been so many countless others that I have probably reached out to. You the only one. So yeah, he's definitely a real one. Dave is Dave's the man, like straight up. Like ain't
Oh,
no
thank you.
ain't
I
no which way
appreciate it.
on that, man. For real. I mean, but
Even
but
though I
ain't
can
nothing
take
wrong with
forever
being
to
a
get back
fanboy.
to everybody, I appreciate it.
Ain't nothing wrong with being a fanboy neither. Like they like the experts, pros and coaches, they get so mad that we have awesome opinions and they can't stand that we know what we're talking about when it comes to football. They can't stand that. That gets underneath their bones because we didn't seem to play professional football. Like, okay, like so you played professional football, but did you actually start in professional football or were you just a bench rider? Were you popular? What's your accolades in professional football? Like, okay, I paid your salary. We pay for tickets. We pay for parking. We pay for the food there. We buy memorabilia. We buy the jerseys. Like, so what you mean? We've been watching the team our whole life, but we can't talk about it. Like, yeah, right. Stop it. Stop it.
Mike
So
Leach, Mike Leach never even played football, man. One of the masterminds of college offense, the air raid offense, all that. He never played football, man.
great. Great. Cause nah, you don't have to. I mean, like if you love the game and you study it enough and you look around and you're doing your research, you're gonna know what you're talking about, and it's gonna show. You know what I mean? It's just gonna show. If you know what you're talking about, you don't have to be a pro, and that's what I started the whole fans point of view thing was. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do, man. It's what we do. We love it, and we always got a fan point of view, and we need to be heard. It's a safe space for us to be heard. Channels like yours and mines and Rawhides and Coach Hayes and TBs. And, there's a lot of us out there that has channels where it's a safe space for fans to go out there and talk what we know and what we love about the game of football on all levels, and I think that's super dope, man.
Man, yeah, I absolutely love, man, this new form of media, man, because
Appreciate that.
this is what it's all about, is that we just develop a community to talk, discuss with each other. I think it's so great how I recognize so many of y'all in here every day. And it's different because all these media types, whatever, they don't just talk to the fellas, man. It's just different. And that's what I love, man, having you part of this community here too.
Mhm.
And but we got a couple super chats again from our wonderful community. Bodie again coming in here saying, thank you again, saying, hey, guys, do you think we're good at DB and linebacker? A lot of opinions on this. I'll say first, with DB, I feel like we're okay. I would like to see us bring in one more corner. Why the hell not? And at linebacker, I'm feeling much better than we were at DB. We're gonna have, or than we were at linebacker previously. You know, with Lundy coming in here. I know that we're a little bit different on this, Chubby. So I want to hear your opinion. But right
Mhm.
now, I want guys like Trevor Woods, if he is bulking up to full time linebacker, and Bentley, for those guys to be backups. I want to bring in another starter if that's possible, somebody who can cover. Same with Demoy Kennedy. I think all these guys would be great rotationally. But if we're talking about wanting to build a defense that's at the top end of the Big 12, in my opinion, none of those guys that I just named right now outside of Lundy are starters, should be starters. But give me your opinion on this, Chubby.
Man, I think we good. I think good. I think we good, Buffs. Me personally, I think we good out there as far as defensive back and linebackers go. And I'll explain that why, and I'll do it again because
Mhm.
the defensive line was not doing they were not doing a correct job last year. Let's just be honest and let's just be real about that. They were out of place, out of position. They were not doing their techniques the way they were supposed to, not filling the gaps, and that fell back on the linebackers to try to compensate for that. The linebackers were messing up. Then now the defensive backs have to compensate for the linebackers when they mess up their job. So it just now the defense just looks so shitty. However, and I think we good. But as far as defensive backs goes, solid, the best in the Big 12 right now. On paper, the best. When you got Cormani McClain, Trevor Woods, Shallow Sanders, Travis Hunter, Cameron Solomon Craig, just those five alone, if they could stay healthy, and I think there needs to be more depth behind them, some guys that could come in and play. And there's more guys I didn't name, like Cooper, who
Preston
else?
Hodge coming in.
Ward, you know what I mean? Like these guys are solid at DB. You got Preston Hodge coming in. He's a solid add to that defensive back. Linebackers, I honestly think that Bentley and Demoy, man, I just think they got a bad rep and they was trying to do the best they could, man, with what they had. And
It's true,
I,
man. Because
I honestly think that they would have a way better season this year, year two in the Charles Kelly's defense. But now there's a whole new defensive coordinator coming in. So we'll see what happens this year. But I think we solid, man. I think it's solid. Adding DJ Lundy, one of the best run stoppers. That's what we needed. Somebody that knows how to fill the gaps. And it's not about filling the gaps, right? It's about being scared or not to fill the gap. When you're on that field and you see that, you'll see the whole line open up as a linebacker. You got to go through there like a train. You got to go through there, no fair, all heart. You got to make that play. You got to make that play because you can actually see it open up like you're a running back yourself. You know what I mean?
yes,
That's how you have to look at that position at linebacker. It's like a running back. You know, you're behind the defensive line and you'll see the holes open up, and they got to hit them, man. They hit them, and but it just didn't work out like that last year because of the defensive line.
totally fair. Totally fair. Just like you were saying with the secondary, I feel like the secondary is very talented, even though you look at the stats and the rankings. I mean, our secondary was bad statistically, but I mean, if you look at that defensive line, you know, we weren't getting pressure, we weren't getting a pass rush, we weren't clogging up gaps and holes in the run game, and so when you're thin at defensive line, it's going to create issues all over the defense. So hopefully, the guys that we brought in, Barnes, Wankwo, a few of the other guys. That's why I'd like to get at least another 315 pound body in there, because right now we got one, and that's an Anquin Barnes. So if he goes down, we're back to being light up front like we were this past year, and we saw how that went. So
Right.
we should see guys though improve, like Amari McNeil, Bishop Thomas. I'm still saying Shane Cokes in there as a rotational player, man. Y'all aren't. Some people don't want to hear that, but he's gonna get snaps this year. Get ready for it, guys.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just a fact, man. I mean, like when you get, and I remember somebody last time saying something about big plays, and like what I talked about earlier, everybody on the field has to do their job in order to make big plays. You know what I'm saying? You can't everybody's job means something to the next person, you know? And as long as you're doing your job in this team game of football, the whole team looks excellent. There's big plays being made, turnovers being made, so forth and so on, man. And there was a couple of times where the defense did step up, though. The defense
Yeah.
did improve towards the end of the season. And that's
Mhm.
when we noticed, like, oh my goodness, if we had better pass rushers on the defense would be so much better. That's when you were able to see the flaws in the defense, because you seen the way they were playing. He did a hell of a job with scheming around what he had last year. Let's just be honest. Like, he really did. Like, he really did, man. So
Yeah.
what did Mike say with the $10?
Oh, yeah, Mike, thanks again. Our loyal Cornhuskers fan that's always in here. Always appreciate Mike. I mean, he's been with us for a long time, man, since I started this channel. But he says good news will be coming for you Buffs in the following days. Oh, interesting. Maybe we can speculate about this. Are we getting Dylan Raiola? Is he coming over here instead? Are we announcing some more home and homes between Colorado and Nebraska? That would be kind of cool. Any ideas on what this could mean, Chubby?
Good news will be coming for you Buffs in the following. I don't know. I have no idea what that would mean. Go ahead and spit it out, Mike. What you know, because you obviously know something that I don't, but I don't know. The Cornhuskers. I don't know what are you trying to go hunting for buffaloes so you can eat some corn? No, I'm just
Dude, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Pop our corn, Mike. Pop our corn. Come on,
yeah,
give us the tea.
I don't know, man. I don't right, nah, but he probably just playing around, man. He just probably playing with you, Dave. He just, he always does, man. He always does. He's good for that one. But I think I think they'd be all right, man. I think they'd be all right though. The Nebraska with Raiola over there, and they got a lot of promise going on over there,
Yeah.
Mike. I like what y'all got going over there because y'all improve through the whole year. You know what I'm saying? And y'all that's Big Ten ball over there, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Big
Yeah.
Ten ball. That's Big Ten ball over there. And look, as long as y'all keep that running game of what y'all always got going over there strong, y'all now have a quarterback who will make plays. And I just don't want Raiola to come in and want to play hero ball and be a game changer. He needs to come in and learn how to be a game manager first in his first year and then go into being what he does best. You know what I'm saying? Come in, be a game manager, and then be a game changer, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Just make the right plays, run the ball well, play tough defense like how y'all do. And that's that, man. Because I'm loving the rookie we got in Pittsburgh. We got the guy from Nebraska. No, I'm sorry, it was Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. That's my
Oh,
guy though. It
I
was
get it
Wisconsin.
confused too.
Yeah. He was my guy. Yeah, but yeah, but
Oh,
that's I think they looking all right though, Mike. I like what y'all got going on over there. But it's still
it's
scope.
funny. You won't find like all this ridiculous Nebraska hate from me. Of course, I hate Nebraska, but I'll say it how it is, man. Like they
Mhm.
were just a half decent quarterback away from being an 8-9 win team this past year
Fact.
with that defense and with that run game. And I think you're absolutely right, man, about what's needed from the quarterback play this next year. If they're going to continue to run the ball heavy, and then they just need a game manager in there to make timely throws, to convert third downs, and not turn the ball over. Don't play hero ball, like you were saying. If they're not asking Raiola to play outside of himself as a true freshman, they could be a much better team than we saw this past year. I think 5 wins this year, just missed being bowl eligible, just like our Buffs here. I think you'll see both teams take a jump this next year, and that's why I'm thinking like next game. I think it's going to be a lot closer, especially with it being in Lincoln. And I do think that it should be a rivalry that I'm hoping will be continually played within the non-conference schedule for both schools, because these rebuilds are happening at the same time. Obviously, these staffs and these players do not like each other based off of all the shit talk that was going on this past year and how all that turned out. I would love to see this rivalry continue.
Facts.
And rivalries are the best, man, when both teams are competitive.
You need those, man. You need rivalries in college football, man. Like this, like there's no college football. Like college football is not the same without the rivalry games. You know, like they all got names for them, and that means something. You know what I mean? It means something. That's it for the year. We got the bragging rights for this year. You know what I mean? So you got to be quiet up until we play each other the next time. Like, you know what I mean? It means something. Like the Ohio State and Michigan game is huge. You know, that's a big rivalry in the Big Ten. Um, I'm trying to name another one. Georgia and Georgia Tech. That's a huge one when they play each other. Georgia and Florida when they play each other. That's a huge one. What's some of the Pac-12? And you know, I'm new to the Pac-12 this year. I'm not going to lie about it. So, what's some of the
Okay.
rivalry games around the Pac-12?
Well, I mean, now that the Pac-12 is kind of dead, I guess it doesn't. Well, you'll still see some of the rivalries continue.
Okay.
So Washington and Oregon in the Big
Okay.
Ten, that will stay the same.
Okay.
With I guess like USC, I guess you could say UCLA is kind of a rival, but really their biggest rivalry games, I feel like, have always kind of been played out of conference with Notre Dame, that Michigan matchup. It made a lot of sense for them to make that jump to the Big Ten just based off of where a lot of their big historical games have been. Granted, Notre Dame's not Big Ten, but it's Big Ten area. Utah, I guess I don't really know if they like have the big time rivals. I mean, they had some really big games over the years against Oregon, Washington, USC, stuff like that. But I really like the fact that the Holy War is now a conference game. Utah against BYU, that's back now. That they haven't been playing over the last few years, so that's back in the Big 12.
Okay.
And with Colorado, it's like, okay, we get the rivalry back with Kansas State. But a lot of our old Big 12 rivals are no longer in the Big 12. You know, what was I going to say? Texas, OU going to the SEC. You know, Missouri's already in the SEC, and then Nebraska left for the Big 10. So hopefully we can keep that going out of conference. But it'll be interesting to see kind of who develops as our rivals. I think UCF has a big potential to be a rival. TCU, we kind of have some good mojo with that going on right now. Kansas State, Oklahoma State. I'm just ready to go toe to toe with more fan bases that care, because half of the Big 12 or Pac-12, those fan bases, it's just not as vibrant, as toxic, as crazy, as irrational as you get with all these other college football fan bases.
But I think it'll change up. I don't know. I think Houston might be a good rivalry waiting to happen with your guys. I think Houston might do it. But when I'm looking around the Big 12, like Dave, like what do you honestly, what teams in the Big 12 just right now? I mean, I know it's hard to say that you think are the biggest competition for the Colorado Buffaloes right now as it stands in the Big 12.
Man, right now I would say Arizona and Utah, especially with Cam Rising coming back. Guys, I know Utah had a down year this year, but again, they're missing their leader, man. They're a 35-year-old quarterback. He's back now for one final year. They're going to be better. Arizona, Jed Fish has done an incredible job there. They're going to be even better this next year. So I think that those are the two teams, coming in that I definitely have my eye on. And then already like returning members of the Big 12, Kansas State. Kansas State, I feel like they're going to play very well. They're always competitive. They have the most Big 12 titles in the conference. If you remove Texas and OU, they've been very good. And, we'll see if a program like TCU, they kind of had a down year this year after losing a lot of talent to the NFL. They had a lot of seniors and graduating players last year when they went to the national championship. But Sonny Dykes is a good coach. Guys, like he coached Cal, and he got a handful of guys into the NFL at Cal. He made Jared Goff a first-round pick at Cal. Cal's an incredibly hard place to recruit to. He was a very good coach there. The fact they were going to bowl games every year with Sonny Dykes there. So I think that he's going to get TCU back to where they were going. And I know that's probably not a popular take, but I'm a believer in Sonny Dykes, and I think he's a really good coach. Outside of that, Kansas, those are probably like the 5 teams, I guess, that I'm
Okay.
like, oh, and how could I forget? UCF, I think with the quarterback transfer that they got in there as well, that game isn't going to be a cakewalk, especially in Orlando. Man, I'm hoping to go to that game. Let me know if you can get down there, man. I'm trying to I think it would be fun for a lot of our YouTubers, us YouTubers, to get together for that game out in Florida. But
Okay.
Gus Malzahn, I think he's a really good football coach. I think he had a good year this year at UCF, being in their first year, being elevated into the Big 12. They've been recruiting very well. There's a lot of new money going into that program. And I mean, now they got a really good quarterback coming in that should elevate them as well. So
Yes.
I think there's probably about 6, 7 teams that are right up there. I don't think that there's any team right now that you can say is kind of the dominant team
Right.
in that conference. And that's
Right.
what's going to make this fun, is vying
Right.
for that.
Exactly. I mean, right, you're right. I mean, that's what I said. Like right now, you really can't say because you could say everybody's the best right now. You know what I mean? He say Hecto sounds like you're a hater.
Oh,
I just want to say Dave is sponsored by Lane. Hey man, yeah, we don't know what you're talking about, man. Right. But I like, you know what? I think Baylor's going to surprise us too this year. They picked up Daquan Finn, quarterback from Toledo. He's from Michigan. He's really, really good. I mean, he's older, and I don't think that when you play at somewhere like the MAC in Toledo, you get overlooked a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you're like, what's the MAC? You know, Toledo. But I think we'll get to see him on display with Baylor. There's going to be a lot of great football in the Big 12. It's going to be exciting to see how things are going to shape up and move forward this year. I can't wait until the season starts. But yeah, I think it's going to be a whole different Big 12. Or is it actually? It ain't even 12 teams, way more than that. But you know, the Big 12 conference is definitely going to be something to watch. And you cannot keep them out of the college football playoff. Whoever wins the Big 12 championship, they're going to the college football playoff without a
well,
doubt.
they do get an automatic bid.
Okay,
Yeah.
they do. Okay, yeah, okay.
All the
Nice.
conference winners will, but it's like, how many more teams will we get in after that? 2, 3? I still think the Big 12 will probably be one of those conferences that gets less in compared to the SEC and the Big 10. But
You know
hey,
what?
we got an easier path to the conference title as opposed to in those other conferences.
Could you keep a 3-loss team, a 3-loss Coach Prime team out of the college football playoff?
Hell no. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I
Hell
mean?
no.
You feel me? Like, and that's a tough question, right? But like really, like, you know, if they lose 3 games, they finish second in Big 12, you know, one of them to win it. You can't lead them out of the 12 teams. How? Especially if you're talking revenue and fan base and so forth and so on. Like, you can't do that. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yes.
But
The only thing is that if those 3 losses are absolute blowouts to teams better than us, then it's like I don't think we get that benefit of the doubt. But like if our losses are close games, which is like the majority of them were this past year, and we're getting to those 9, 10 wins, I think no doubt if we get to 10 wins, no matter what happens, if we win or lose the conference, I think we're in. But I guess it depends on like how many other 1 or 2 win teams in the rest of college football there are. The one thing that I'm pissed about, Chubby, is that from my understanding with the college football playoff is that the top G5 school gets an automatic bid, which I just think is stupid, man. I feel like the G5 should just play their own national title tournament, man.
yes, man. Same
you know,
here. Man. Same here. Because I don't want to watch any more Oregon and Liberty games, man. I mean,
dude,
like,
yeah.
with all due respect, Liberty had they had a great season and they are a good football program for the G5. Let's just be there.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's just be real here. We're gonna be complaining about the 13th or 14th team not making the playoffs. Let's just be real. We love football.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it, y'all. It's just a fact. We it's the way we are. We can't have enough, you know, and the 13th team is going to get screwed, 14th team. This way, when you have a whole different bracket in the G5, you got 12 other teams in the G5, and we can watch those games. And usually when the top 12 of those teams are playing each other, those usually are really good football games to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tough question.
that's how I feel. I mean, when was the last time G5? Well, I guess it was cool watching Tulane beat USC in the Cotton
Mhm.
Bowl a couple of years
Right.
ago or last year.
Right.
It was cool watching forever ago Boise State beat
Mhm.
Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. But it's like, okay, I can name two bowl games in in my lifetime that really mattered, where like they weren't absolutely creamed and they got the upset win. And at the end of the day, did we really care? Like, did we really care that much that we saw this little Cinderella story in college football? Save
Right.
that stuff for college basketball. I
Yeah.
don't care about
All right. He said tough question for sure. That Colorado at 9-3 would be an interesting decision to make. I'm like, I think so. I don't think you could leave them out, but I mean, as far as how they went off, what they were talking about this year, you know what I mean? Everything. The reason why they put the other teams in, I don't think you could do that in a Big 12. But I do think the Big 12 is going to be something tough like that next year because there's a lot of good football programs in there. In the Big 12 now. I think that okay, Colorado, Houston, Kansas State, TCU will do better next year. Cincinnati probably. I don't know, but I don't know what Cincinnati would do honestly. But I just mentioned them. There's a couple of teams that I think that will have similar records
it.
towards the end of the season, and it's going to be tough to decide who's going to get in the way that it's shaping up. You know.
Yeah, totally, man. But I'm just glad that again, I feel like with the move to the Big 12, um, every fan base within this conference, man, they really do care, and that's something that's really refreshing. And I love the fact, man, I love the fact, man, we're done taking those trips out to freaking Pullman, Washington State, and all that. That was never a good trip for us. Granted, we got to go to some of these small college towns in the middle of nowhere now, but at least it's not Pullman, Washington, man. That's how I feel about it. And like these fans, man, they really do care. These atmospheres, they're crazy, and man, it's going to be a fun new look. And just to see, like, it's so
Mhm.
funny because we're kind of on the outside coming in, and I know that there are haters, that hate us Buffs fans, right? But I don't see a lot of Big 12 fans coming for us yet. And man, it's going to be hilarious when because it's not going to take very long, I think, for this fan base to be hated by the rest of the conference when we start winning all these recruiting battles against
You
them.
know what?
I think it's going to be funny, man.
You know what? I think I honestly, my opinion in that, I think that y'all gonna respect. It's gonna be respect. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of hate. I think there's gonna be a lot of respect for what Colorado brings in the Big 12. Because they understand that that's a good football program. Colorado has a good football program, great coaching, great staff over there, and I think it's going to be a lot of respect more than hate. I mean, you're going to get your smack talking. I love that. I hope there's a lot more shit talk. I mean, smack talking.
Yeah.
I hope there's a lot more of that in the Big 12. You know what I mean? I love that to see that in football. Period. But I think they will respect it though. I believe so. I think so.
Oh man, I'm being part of this, man. Like the man above saying it right here. I didn't know you were from Lubbock, man. Lived 7 years in Abilene, but he says, "Oh, they're coming, especially here in Lubbock. Them tortillas are coming at you." But people here do love Prime, so it might not be as targeted much. Yes, but I'm fully expecting if I can get to Lubbock, is have those tortillas thrown at me. I'm ready. I'm ready for those sorts of traditions to be a part of that, and to be in atmospheres and be conversing with other Big 12 fans, that care. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun, man. It's
Yeah.
I can't wait. Good riddance, Pac-12. I'm so glad that it's dead. Hopefully, Washington can get that win for it, but it was terribly managed and it did nothing good for CU, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was the darkest days for us. So, the Chubby, I got to start wrapping up things here, but man, I appreciate you staying on here with me for so long. This was an absolute blast. Thank you so much for the chat. Y'all were hilarious. Whether you're fanboys, primates, supporters, haters, trolls, all of that.
Yeah.
I love reading the chat, keeping
Yeah.
up with it as much as I can. But you guys were great today.
Yes, we need all of that. We need all of that. Everything you just said, we need all of that. And make sure y'all go check me out. Subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Support me. I'm live every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's what 4:30 a lot of Mountain Time, so right. That's when I go live on Saturdays, 6:30. I'm on time. Sometimes I'm 2 minutes late, but I'll be there to do a live show. Make sure I hit the notification bell because I drop videos through the week. All right.
Yes, I love it, man. And yeah, and we'll get on again next week, all that. And yeah, guys, please go make sure you subscribe to Chubby. The fans' point of view, baby. That's why we do this thing. So many people be like, Dave, got to be doing this and that, whatever. Or like some of the trolls, I think it's funny, man. They're always like, man, you're trying to be I'm not trying to be a professional. I'm trying to be Dave. I'm trying to be me. So,
Thank you, Mike.
that's what I love about your channel, man. Is you're just trying to be you, man. You're not
Right.
you're not a poser and nothing like that.
Nah, man. This ain't your coaches and pros, your X's and O's. This is the fans' point of view and what we know. So let's go.
Awesome, man. Appreciate
Appreciate
it again. Thanks again for the love, everybody. And hey, Sco Buffs, we'll see you around again soon.
Peace.